Lovely. Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog and welcome to, yes, another video on the Supra. I think I said on my last video, if you would have watched that this was going to be, or the last one was going to be a two-parter, so to speak. So I got to sorting the, I think it is the, what is it, the Nuke Performance fuel pulsate dampener thing. I've done that, and obviously that's really helped kind of the almost like water hammer effect that you get in a big fuel system that like that's got. It feels really good. Fuel pressure and everything feels really stable, and it helps all of that, which is great. But we're on to another thing today, and that is the fuel pumps. Last time, I think if you've watched many episodes and videos of mine, you'll see that I've had issues before with where the hangers sit. I've had to take a little bit of, I think it was nylon, crap nylon that's been put on that tubing and cut it down. I've now got some Jubilee clips and proper just high quality fuel line, and I'm going to just extend the tank so they sit down and the socks sits down lower in the tank, because what I've been having is surge issues because the car's so powerful. Every time I accelerate, when it's anything less than a quarter of a tank, it would just surge and struggle, and the Cyvex ECU is so good it just basically pulls everything back. Then it goes into like not a limp mode, just a cut, and once it's in a cut, it needs to kind of be turned off and then back on, or needs a bit of time, then it goes again. It's just a pain in the arse. So need to redo those tanks, both the tanks, or both the pumps, should I say, and put them down lower in the tank. So I'm extending the feed that kind of goes to the pump and allowing it to sit lower in the hanger, which will be good. So I'm going to do that today. I've also got a battery disconnect terminal port plug, or whatever you want to call it. I'll show you what it is, and I'll put links in the bio. It's a really simple one. You can get remote ones, but I don't want fiddly things that can potentially go wrong in a remote and all that electric. It's a bit over the top for me. I've just got a post that I think you wind down and it just basically disconnects the post. That way, if I don't like the car sitting potentially for long periods of time, and then I go to it, because I don't drive the car that much anymore, and it is a there's a lot of draw from the old school security system that's still on that. It works perfectly well, but that coupled with lots of things, I just noticed that if you leave it a couple of weeks, even albeit on a big battery, it doesn't take long and it struggles, and it's like I say, big, needs quite a bit of cranking power on those big cast 2J units to get it going. So gone are the days where I used to have this stupid small last race battery. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have one of those, but I've gone back to a big battery, and I've relocated it. If you haven't seen the video, watch it. I'll put it in the top right hand corner for you now. Watch that one before, and then maybe come back to this, and let's get on with this fuel system setup anyway. So we don't need to disconnect the battery, because that's already done before I've even gone here. And I go to the back expecting to see it here with these ugly ass cable ties that I used to have, but no, it's in its relocated position. And the post obviously just disconnected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the post on there and put this disconnection thing on there. Post, I'll show you in a minute, and then we'll get on with the fuel pumps. Yeah, so you'll see super simple. It's a Star battery switch from China. Nice and simple. At the end of the day, it's copper. You know, look, this is a simple piece. If you're paying stupid money for something as simple as this, then you're stupid yourself. These are simple disconnectors that you effectively just turn this to on or off position, and it's either putting electric through that or it's not putting electric through it. So it's like a manual, simple valve, a simple, almost like disconnection switch, so to speak. You can get these from Amazon or eBay. I will give you the Amazon link for where I got this from if you're interested in it, but it's just a simple way just to disconnect the battery, so it should be nice and straightforward to put on. And yeah, I'll get this on. So yeah, it really is quite simple. It does tell you how to do it, but you've got instructions. But yes, the end of the post goes into your existing like setup, so to speak, and then this side just goes on here. So, and then obviously this winds on. I think when you press it all the way down, it gets a connection, and while it's out, it kind of disconnects. So at the moment I'm in a disconnected state. I'm just going to do up all the nuts and everything like that, and then I shall check to see if it works, and I'll show you. So it's all tightened up. I've got the Supra keys in my hand ready to kind of press the alarm. Let's see what happens. So it should just basically go, you should just hear a beep, and it should, if I wind this down, I've wound it up, wound it around quite a bit. There you go. Make sure you do it up tight. Don't think that's going to wiggle around. Hopefully it won't when you're driving. I wouldn't have thought it would, but yeah, now it's connected, and as you can hear, and then if I want to disconnect it, we should, I'll tell you when it, there you go, we're disconnected. I can see, so that is really easy, to be honest with you. Yeah, you can get a remote. I can access it from the rear where I am here, but I probably also can access it from where I sit in the seat. But to be fair, it's easier just to do this. I'll probably just disconnect and connect like that. But that's really good for me. I just keep on bloody taking these nuts and bolts off and stuff, and yeah, disturb stuff, and had enough of doing that really. So I thought I've heard of these simple switch disconnections, and decided to do that. So another day I'm going to try and tidy up the cables a little bit, but for now we've got a nice battery relocation, and I'm ticking off the jobs slowly but surely. But yeah, the car's gonna just needs a bit of tidying up here, and then I'll probably clean this up again and do another nice respray. I think because I've been having it in and out of this dusty barn, it slowly has got a little bit more untidy in here. It just needs a hoover, a clean, and don't get me wrong, in the sun when you see this it looks worse because it's in low light, but to be fair, the car by and large is not too bad at all. It's not a concourse car, like I use it, but do you know what, in general it's a tidy car underneath, and chassis wise in general it's a decently tidy car. It's not perfect, but it's still a beauty. It still looks gorgeous. But yeah, anyway, yeah, slowly ticking off the jobs. Let's get the let's just disconnect some of these. Again, I'm not going to start it up. I haven't started it up, but and actually since I've done the fuel pulsation dampener, I have had it on, so there is going to be pressure in here, and there is going to be some unfortunately fuel's going to come out of here when I disconnect this, but it is what it is. Doesn't matter. Battery's disconnected. Just start getting this off again and get into the nitty gritty. Right, so we've got it in this position. Disconnected the 2 fuel lines here and the 1 fuel line here, so 3 fuel lines in total, plus this little rubber one to the vent. And yeah, we've just got to knock this back off, which I hate having to keep knocking this one off, because obviously it chews away that little plastic casing, and there we'll lift the tanks out from there. So there you go, everything kind of is stripped back, so to speak. Got the hanger out, and yeah, we've just got to kind of I'm going to basically take these horrendous, what I don't like, I know they come with kits, but plastic nylon tube, and then lemon clipped on, which I hate lemon clips with an absolute passion. Some have been Jubilee clipped on, but in general there's a lot of ghetto-ness on that hanger that needs to be rid of. We're going to just get some normal flexi hose line in there, which is suitable for ethanol based fuels, or some ethanol based fuels. I'm not going pure ethanol on this car. It's not something that interests me. It doesn't get driven enough. Sorry, it gets driven plenty, but it still doesn't get driven that much to not have those potential greying and oxidization or hygroscopic issues that you're going to get water being introduced to that petrol, which I don't want to do. So my motor is worth a lot of money, so I shall not be doing that. Yep, it will be running pump fuel and the K16 race fuel, which is much better. Very expensive, albeit, but much better. But yes, let's get these redone. Do you know what? I always said, I haven't done it I haven't ever done this since taking these tanks out. And it's just a simple thing. I've never thought to look what's in this tank. And I said that I swear there must be debris and shit in this tank. And to be fair, why not check? Especially when I've had not that an old of a fuel system put in this, and then I've done loads of stuff myself, and then it's killed a filter. Anyway, I said to myself, I will look at what is in this tank. Now look, what's that first and foremost? We have got, and there is only 2 tanks with 2 socks in there, and they are clipped on there properly. But there is, there's a third sock in there, just sitting in there in the bottom there, so that's interesting. Where that's come from, I do not know. I haven't always worked on this car. And there's also some black thing, looks like a bit of tape. It's like that fuel wrap tape. Again, don't know why you'd put that on parts of the fuel system, but it's found its way in there, which is not good. That'll get sucked in. I mean, it won't get sucked in, that's why socks there, but there's lots of little, there's wiring, there's metal filings, there's not too much where the fuel filter will find that. Never ideal though, is it? Generally the tank looks like in quite good condition, but there's lots of little flecks and bits and bobs. And another day I'll probably, it's quite low on fuel, very low on fuel actually, or on appearance it seems to be. It probably isn't, it's probably deeper than I think, but I'm going to get those bits out of there. I'm going to get some other gloves on and stick my hand in there and get those out. Yeah, not good. That's a lovely clean sock, to be fair. Look at it. It's in beautiful condition. Might keep that for the future. But yeah, these 2 are on there anyway. So where did that come from? Who knows? But it's in lovely condition. It must have been a new one. But it's hard. It's hard to get one of them off a pump, because I don't know if you guys have done that before. When you push these in, you clip them in. As long as you push them in nicely, they really grip. They ain't going nowhere. They've got almost this kind of like snap type lock system on it, and they're really nice. Once they're on, they're on. Like I say, they're on. They don't tend to pull off, but yeah, that's just floating in there. But anyway, we got it out. Happy days. Right, so if we look again now, there you go, look at that. Can you see? Much better. There is nothing in there now, just a few little bits of debris, which is hard to go. But we've got our bits of red plastic, not sure where they've come from. Bits of tape insulation, and this wonderful pump sock there as well. So much better. Nice and clean in there now. Let's to get these pumps on the hanger extended. I'm going to try and measure actually from the top of here, which is going to be this rim here, roughly where I'm pointing to the bottom of the tank, because I want to try and get the length good. Because obviously from here to roughly here is what we've got at the moment. And like I say, I've been having problems with pickup, so I'm intrigued as to... I mean, I certainly can see that there's a lot of length left where I remember, like, which is the other side, it might be the other side, but it's really pulled up. I think it's that other side, which is probably is the prime, but whichever one it is, whichever one the prime is, yeah, you can see the prime is probably, it's not much, but it's probably, I don't know if you can see that, guys. Let's try and get the hanger up here. It's probably 5 mil, but the sock sits a bit higher than that. But yeah, I think they're both too high, to be fair. I think they should be sitting quite a bit lower, maybe half an inch, maybe even more. I'm just going to see where they potentially would bottom out. I'm going to try and measure it. So yeah, we'll get that sorted. So we've redone this. I do feel like this is too long now, but I'm going to see if it bottoms out. If it does, yeah, unfortunately it means we need to probably adjust these and recut them, which will be lots of extra time, because obviously you just do all this up, and yeah, I'll probably come back to it because I'm running out of time. But yes, let's see how we get on and put this back in. It's my super scientific reading, but it's measured on this to that. As you can see, goes quite a bit past it, probably easy ½ an inch. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you probably think ½ an inch worth of submersion in that tank. It's a big long tank that spans the width of that car. You're probably talking easy 15 litres worth of fuel there, and it's effectively over a quarter of a tank. So there's no surprise it would struggle with that. These really should be sitting right on the absolute bottom of the tank. So I need to extend those exactly what I thought. Probably I'd say that's actually close to an inch. So yeah, I'm going to proceed to do that and cut these horrible nylon tubes off. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's not by much, but it's this much. So I'll see if there's a way I can just adjust the bracket and then squish this a little bit, because we're literally, what are we, 7 or 8 millimeters? Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Closer but no cigar. We're much closer. I might just about get away with it. So I need to do, one more small little modification to see if I can get it just to be there. We're almost there. So moment of truth, everything's back together. Let's have a little start up. See what happens. Fingers crossed. Oh, got to turn the battery back on, haven't I? Connect the switch. There you go. Connection. Make sure those pins are lined up, hopefully, on this. This is what always scares me. C and D, top side. Pins are obviously has to be correct, but it's either going to start or it's not going to start. But let's have a look. Comms sound promising. So the pumps, actually, because the pumps are not, let's give it a few primes. Let's make sure we've got line pressure. Second, let's do 3. I'm going to do one more. I always like to do about 3 or 4 pumps. Truth be told, there should be line pressure, but obviously it will start back up and it'll get line pressure pretty quick. But yeah, that's, that should do. Good sign. Lovely. Happy days. So that was quite a quick one, guys, but I'm going to sign off there because I didn't want it to be too long. But yes, we've done the pumps finally. We're checking off all these boxes slowly but surely. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a beautiful day now. Might even go for a little drive and then that'll be another video. But guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye for now.